Hi, my name is Danny Chan. I'm the senior pastor of the Eagle Rock Seventh-day Adventist Church. And today I'd like to share with you an example of how we as a church experienced a shift in the way that we do evangelism and how we ask our church members to be involved in our evangelistic efforts as we seek to be more of a community-driven church. It all began with a vision to see Eagle Rock becoming more of a community-driven church, a church that loves and is engaged with the community. And so we decided to be systematic about it. First, we started by asking one of the foremost authorities in the Adventist Church on church research. His name is Monty Saline out of the Ohio Conference. He came and he gave us a complete assessment of who we are as a church. He also gave us an assessment of what are some of the needs of the community. And combining those two, he put together some of the different areas of emphasis that we needed to improve as a church in our efforts to reach out to the community. So that was the vision, and so we began to share that vision to the church staff, to the church board, to the team of elders, and eventually to the church. And every chance we got, we shared with them this vision that we could meet the needs of the community. And all of a sudden, one day, a church member, her name was Tracy, she came to me and she said, Pastor, I've been hearing all the research and all the things that we are as a church and who the community is. I have an idea. Why don't we have a block party? Why don't we just host the community within our neighborhood to come on our church campus and to just have a day of food and fun and games? We were so surprised that over 400 people came, including church members and community leaders, and the police department, the fire department was there. We had different community partners join us, and we had close to 30 booths of prizes and games and businesses, and the community was able to gather together on one night, and it was just a great way for us to engage with the community. In our efforts to reach the community, other opportunities arose. Every year, the Eagle Rock community and the neighboring communities used to host a peace march calling for peace in the communities. And every year, it used to happen on Saturday mornings. As we began to be engaged and involved with the community, we realized that we couldn't be part of this as freely as we wanted to if the peace march happened right during our worship service. We wanted maximum participation, and we shared with the community leaders this problem that we had. Well, one day they decided to include us as part of this outreach effort. They decided to change the whole route so that the Peace March started 1 block away from our church, and they shifted the time to coincide just as our church service let out, where they would come and we could join them on this Peace March effort. When the Peace March came, we were so surprised to find that there was over 100 Eagle Rock members who were ready and willing to support the Peace March. That's over a third of who came to worship that day at Eagle Rock. And there's one interesting story. There's this little old lady. Her name was Marge. She's over 90 years old. She came that day with her worship dress, but she was wearing a pair of Converse. And her husband, she had a walker with her. She decided to march with the group. She didn't go the whole way, but we asked her, if you can just walk to the end of the block, you will show your support to the community. It will show that we care as a church, and it will go a long way to continue to foster these community church relations. And she certainly did that, and it was such an amazing sight to see from the youngest to the oldest partnering with the community as we seek to be more of a community-driven church. So we began with a vision. We began to share that vision. And one of the things that we learned as leaders at Eagle Rock was that sometimes we put such a heavy burden on our church members when we ask them to be involved in evangelism, to go out there and to do outreach. One of the things we found is that all we needed to do was to provide opportunities for them to be involved. You see the difference? Sometimes we burden them, and sometimes we even guilt them into doing more for others. But we found that once we just gave them an opportunity to serve, that they just joined readily. and we've had so much good participation. And I want to commend the members of Eagle Rock Church for their willingness to be involved with the community as we seek to be more of a community-driven church. We have a long ways to go, but praise God, we feel like we're headed in the right direction.